Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start the program today. All right. My name's Tim Shipton, and I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to start by respectfully acknowledging that we're on Treaty 6 territory. We also acknowledge the Métis people who share deep history and connection with the land. A couple quick comments before we get going. Thrilling win last night at Rogers Place on home ice. All-Canadian matchup. I know Minister McIver may not have been cheering being a big Flames fan, but maybe, just maybe, a Battle of Alberta that will unite and divide the province at the same time. And thank you, everyone, for joining us outdoors today. You know, we looked at the forecast. It was a balmy +2, and we said, hey, let's do this thing outside. You know, we're hardy Canadians, so thanks so much. Nice to see the sun shining. On behalf of my OEG colleagues, it's an honor to welcome everyone here today. Also honored, of course, to have from the province of Alberta, our Premier Danielle Smith, Municipal Affairs Minister Rick McIver, and other ministers from the city of Edmonton. Very nice to see Mayor Sohi, other members of council and city administration. And a special thanks to our good friend, the Grand Chief of Treaty 6, Trevor Mercredi. Thank you so much for being here today. Or sorry, Treaty 8. Treaty 6, Greg was supposed to come today too, but he couldn't make it, so we love you. Also delighted to have many honored guests representing diverse community and business organizations who have helped advance a bold new vision for Edmonton's downtown, which is why we're here today. So very excited that we're able to announce the signing of an MOU between the city, province, and OEG. Looking back over the past 8.5 years to what we've accomplished since the opening of Rogers Place, it has been remarkable. We've created Canada's largest sports and entertainment district that has driven the broader economy. Every year we welcome over 2 million guests to the heart of the city, many from outside the province and country. We funded over $100 million into not-for-profits and charities via our community foundation. And we also know that Rogers Place and subsequent developments have significantly driven the capital city downtown CRL, which has funded a wide variety of infrastructure projects and in fact is going to fund the developments that we're talking about today. But we still know there's significant work to be done for a vibrant, thriving, and safe downtown. And this agreement will lay the foundation to achieve those goals. It's exciting that we're standing right here, the location of the new downtown community event park, a facility that will be totally unique and one of a kind in Canada, if not North America. The event park will include great public realm spaces, indoor-outdoor facilities to host a wide range of events and activities, included dedicated time and space for community use. This is going to attract more people, more families, more vibrancy into the area. And steps away is the Village at Ice District, which will be an urban development that will include green space, amenities, and most important, a variety of much-needed housing options to meet the demands of our growing city. And we know that that housing will need to be developed in partnership with multiple organizations, and it will feature numerous housing typologies, purpose-built rentals, student housing, and of course, affordable and attainable options. That site servicing investment will fund critical public infrastructure needed to advance development. The event park and Village at Ice District will work in concert as continued development amenities and activities are paramount to attracting new residents to the heart of our city. So this is an opportunity to invest in the next round of catalytic projects, which will bring real returns to the city through the CRL and attract even more development, investment, and activity in the downtown core. So I want to close by thanking representatives of the city and province who we worked with very long, hard hours, twists and turns as it goes. Nothing worth it ain't easy, as they say. But we do want to thank everyone for your diligence and hard work to get an agreement in principle signed. It's greatly appreciated. So on behalf of Daryl Cates, the rest of the OEGSE team, we're proud to be a signatory to this MOU. There's more work ahead, but this is truly a great day for our city. So it's now my honor to welcome our Premier, Danielle Smith, to the stage.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Tim, and the rest of the OEG Sports and Entertainment Group for hosting us here today. Acknowledge my colleagues from the legislature, Rick McIver, of course, Minister of Municipal Affairs, got Cyril Turton, Minister of Children and Family Services, Dale Nally, Minister of Service Alberta and Red Tape Reduction, and MLA Lunty from the Leduc-Beaumont area as well. So nice to see you as well, Grand Chief McCready, Treaty 8 First Nations. I thought I was going to see Chief Cody Thomas. I'm not sure if he's here. If you are, hope you can say hi before you go. And of course, Amarjeet Sohi, our partner in this project, Mayor of Edmonton. And good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is such a great pleasure of mine to be here to share our joint vision for the city, and more specifically for this space that we're at right now. Because we have a shared vision that would completely transform this small part of downtown Edmonton. Alberta's population has been rising at a record rate, and our tourism industry is booming. Visitor spending actually reached a record high in 2023. A lot of those people, whether they're taking a trip or putting down roots, they're coming here to Edmonton. And so our world-class capital needs more world-class attractions and facilities to create jobs and grow the economy and serve more residents. And so I'm happy to announce that our government has signed an MOU with the City of Edmonton and OEG Sports and Entertainment to make this happen. We're planning historic investments in downtown Edmonton. Once we finalize the details, the province will contribute up to $183.4 million for the proposed project, which will cost a total of $408.2 million. And that money will go towards several improvements. First, it will help fund a brand new event park in the Ice District. I think there's a rendering right up at the front here. The Ice District is already the heart of sports and nightlife in the downtown core, and the new park is going to make it better than ever by bringing in more events. Our government will invest $97 million to build that venue. Second, our investment will help pay for site servicing for the Village at Ice District North, and this will pave the way to develop much needed downtown housing. Edmonton's population is climbing, and we're working together to add more options for everyone. Our government will provide $31.4 million in funding for site servicing work. Finally, our investment will help cover the cost to demolish the old Coliseum at the Edmonton exhibition lands and improve the area. And the province will contribute $55 million towards this work and enable much needed development in the area. Altogether, our government will contribute about 40% of the total investment in this crucial project. And I do want to be clear that we are still in the early stages, and all of this depends on us reaching a binding agreement by the end of August, and I'm very confident that we will. Everyone involved understands the benefits of revitalizing downtown Edmonton and the land nearby. All of this work will lead to better public safety, more affordable housing, and more space for fun. We're committed to doing the work to get it done for Edmontonians. I'm grateful to our partners at the City of Edmonton, as well as the OEG Sports and Entertainment Group, for doing so much for this city. Your willingness to think big will further create a beautiful city centre and help to improve the exhibition lands and the former Coliseum site. We will build a great quality of life in Edmonton together. And with that, I'd like to invite Minister Rick McIver up to say a few words.
Thank you, Premier. It's certainly a pleasure for me to be here, and great to be here with the Premier and my colleagues from the legislature and our Mayor Sohi and Grand Chief and Senator Wells. Welcome. It's and Tim, our lead guy here today. Thank you for the invitation to join you here today. As the Premier said, we are thrilled to announce that Alberta's government has partnered with the City of Edmonton in the Oilers Entertainment Group through a new memorandum of understanding. As the Premier's given most of the financial details, so I won't repeat them. But here's the important thing. Our investment will play a key role in ensuring that Edmontonians, along with visitors, have year-round access to incredible sports, culture events, entertainment, and much more, making one of the Edmonton's most important gathering places even a little bit more special, even a little bit bigger, with room for even more Edmontonians and their friends and visitors to come and celebrate together. But the benefits don't stop there. I'm proud of the fact that the investment will have a significant impact on our tourism sector, creating jobs and driving economic growth across the region. It's a win for the local economy and for the community. And I love the fact it will help support the construction of about 2,500 new residences in the village at Ice District. I think we all know across Canada, but in Alberta, we are desperate for new housing. People are coming here because this is a great place to live, work, and raise a family, and we need new residences, and this will contribute to that. I'm particularly pleased that a number of those residences will be affordable and attainable housing. There'll be student housing, and some of it will be purpose-built rental housing, the things that we need the most for Edmonton in this area. And I'm proud that we're playing a part in contributing to all of that. And the fact that it ties in to the revitalization of the broader Edmonton downtown. It's when that happens, more people want to come to Edmonton, more people have a better time when they get here. It'll help make the downtown more attractive, safer, more fun, and help really replace to create a positive space where big improvement on what it is today. So I want to, as the Premier said, we'll finish off the MOU. And as she also said, a great confidence. I think they almost give me the same notes as you've got, Premier. But the Premier gave them better than I did. Anyway, you know what? I'm happy about this. This will meet the needs of Edmontonians. As we see this come to life, I think everybody wins here. And thank you for letting me be a small part of this great day. And now I have the honor of inviting Edmonton's Mayor, Sohi.
Well, I get the last word. I first of all want to start, I'm pleased to be here, joining in this for a very exciting announcement with Premier Smith and Minister McIver and Tim Shipton toward an agreement that will help us build more homes and bring more vibrancy to Edmonton's downtown core. I'm here with some of my colleagues. Councillor Cartmell is here, Councillor Hamilton, and Councillor Stevenson. I don't know if there are any other colleagues here. We work together in these kind of endeavors. I'm grateful that they're able to join in as well. I want to start by thanking Premier Smith and her government for recognizing this opportunity to invest in Edmonton. Premier, also want to thank you for restoring the grants in lieu of taxes funding. That's almost $19 million that we're going to get from your government. And as we promised, we're going to use that money to lower property taxes for Edmontonians. I also want to thank you for continuing to fund the low-income bus pass. That's a lifeline for a lot of low-income Edmontonians, really keeps their life affordable. And I want to thank you for that commitment. I also want to thank OEG SC, Tim, thank you so much for your leadership and for your commitment to Edmonton and commitment to our downtown. What we see here today took us decades to figure it out, but since 2015, we have seen almost close to $4.6 billion of investment in the downtown, and Rogers Place acting as a catalyst project to make that happen. This memorandum of understanding reinforces our collective desire to build a thriving downtown. Our many meetings and ongoing collaboration is help us build more homes in our downtown core, accelerate the demolition of the Coliseum, and build a permanent event park in our key entertainment district. Our downtown is a major economic driver, but it is also a neighborhood that deserves to be affordable and amenity-rich community. I firmly believe that our downtown community should have access to quality recreation options just like any other community in Edmonton. That is why my office and I have worked with both partners from day one to maximize the public benefit of these investments. I want to focus on housing and economic benefits of these projects for all Edmontonians. This City Council has taken historic action to boost housing supply and affordability in our city. Edmonton has become a national leader in housing growth and affordability, and this investment builds on that success. A key win for our downtown is the support for 2,500 new residential units included in this agreement, going to happen right behind in this empty space, right across from Qualco's exciting development here. Likewise, this funding for the Coliseum demolition will help us work faster to build more homes on exhibition lands. City Council has already supported the redevelopment of this key area with investment in site servicing and rezoning, as well as refurbishing Commonwealth Stadium LRT station. This MOU is also an example how governments can work together with the private sector to realize transformative city building projects. There's still more work to do, including a robust public consultation with Edmontonians before a final agreement is signed. But today is an important step in the process to ensure we are encouraging a responsible, future-focused development for the betterment of everyone in our downtown and North Edmonton communities. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. This is absolutely an exciting day for Edmonton.
Thank you to all of our speakers. We're running tight on time today, but we'll head into our media Q&A. We'll be taking one question, one follow-up. We'll start with questions here from the floor before making our way to the phones. And a reminder to the reporters, please address your questions as all of our speakers are seated at the moment. So we'll go to our first at the mic.
Charles Delisle, Radio Canada, Alberta. My first question is for Tim Shipton. Good to go?
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Rogers Place Ice District was sold as revitalizing downtown. Sees a lot of its business on game days and concerts. How is this development going to be any different in ensuring maybe like more consistent community downtown and not just on those big games?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the question. I think that's exactly what we've thought about when we envisioned this event park, creating great public realm spaces, events and activities 365 days a year. A lot of conversation with the city and province about public usage, and so we also envision opportunities for not-for-profits, charities, sports organizations to use this space throughout the year. So you may have a concert one night, but the next day you're going to have, free play for kids out here playing ball hockey. The canopy structure will extend the seasonality and really turn it into a facility that enhances vibrancy. And the other part, of course, is the residential units. We need to continue to be creative about building those units that are needed for our growing city. So we think phase one was all about sports, entertainment, the excitement. Phase two will be about getting people down here day in, day out. Thank you.
My follow-up is for Premier Smith. These are a lot of taxpayer dollars. Why was there no public consultation on this like there was for the massive arena behind you and the new arena now in development in Calgary?
Well, have committed, and I've committed to Mayor Sohi and also Mayor Gondek, that we are going to be ruthlessly fair between Calgary and Edmonton. And I can tell you that the revitalization project that's happening with us supporting the infrastructure for a companion event center down there is going to be absolutely transformative. Edmonton was a little bit further ahead, and I don't know if you remember what this area looked like a couple of years ago, full of encampments and tents. We've made a major effort to address law enforcement, to invest in a navigation center, social housing, addiction support, and we look at this as being complementary to our efforts to make sure that we're addressing the mental health and addiction crisis that is unfortunately seizing too many of our cities. And I think as well, we saw through the historic playoff run just how exciting this outdoor space can be when it's purposed to that. So it does seem to me that this is exactly the kind of thing that our government has always done. We work with municipalities to identify their priorities. With this particular project, it came together very much the same way that the Calgary one did, where the city and the team made an agreement, and then they asked us to bridge the gap on some of the important infrastructure pieces. So that's the way it came together.
Go ahead, James.
All right, James from the Western Standard. Thank you for taking my questions. Question for the mayor, please. In line with what the Premier has just said, I realize this is a long-term project, but what will be done to help people living in poverty in this area who may be displaced by the project in the coming years? And will there be any new programs for those folks?
Yeah, over the last 3 years, city has already exceeded our target of building affordable homes, and we're actually investing more money than we ever did to create more opportunities for people to have a decent place to call home. And we work very closely with our provincial government and our federal government. And under the Housing Accelerator Fund, we will be able to build another 6,500 additional homes. Some of them will be affordable. We are converting our surplus school sites to build more affordable homes. This is a long-term, the crisis of houselessness and mental health and addiction that we seeing in our communities is absolutely an ongoing concern that we all share, and we're going to continue to work together to ensure that everyone is supported in our communities.
Great, thank you so much. And separate question, separate topic, if that's okay for Premier. First question of the day on AHS. So I'm just wondering, given the current situation and how the AHS situation has been evolving over the last few days, now that the RCMP are potentially involved, I'm wondering if you have any regrets in that regard in terms of just how that situation has evolved.
Well, I'll tell you what the main dispute is about. It's really about whether we should be having alternative service providers giving service to Albertans or not. If we should have a single monopoly managed by Alberta Health Services, where they have not only the power to deliver all services, but also contract to their competitors. And we made a policy decision in November of 2023, we're very transparent about it, that we were splitting those roles, that AHS is going to become a service provider. We are in the process of transferring over 700 facilities to Government of Alberta ownership and firmly cementing AHS as an operator. And then we will have Acute Care Alberta, which had its legal day one on April 1st and its operational day one April 1st, run by expert Dr. Chris Eagle, who has been involved in the health field before. He will be the one who's overseeing the additional contracts to not only Covenant Health, but also charter surgical centers. There's still something that we have to resolve, obviously, because AHS procurement was not very transparent, and so we've discovered that there are multiple different facilities providing the same service at different prices. And we want to get to the bottom of that. If there are any problems with the procurement process, we want to address them, because many of those same individuals we were intending to bring over into Acute Care Alberta, if there's a problem, then we want to solve it. So we'll let the process play out. We have the AG looking at it. We have a retired judge from Manitoba looking into it. And if they have advice for us, then we'll be implementing those that advice. The report will be available online, planned for June 2025. So everybody will have a chance to see it at that time.
Thank you. We have time for a few more questions. We're going to take one more here from the mic, and then we're going to head to the phones. Go ahead.
Yeah, Shaylan Skolsky with CTV News Edmonton. Thanks so much for taking my questions. They're both for the Premier. I'm hearing more news this morning. Trump says tariffs are coming on lumber and dairy. I'm hoping to get some clarity based on your remarks from this morning. You said that the government is recalibrating. Just hoping to get some clarity. Those 4 measures you introduced earlier this week in response to the tariffs, do they still stand? And what is your understanding of how this reprieve till April 2nd applies to energy? Because we're hearing some U.S. media reports that would not be included in the pause.
I'm going to have a caucus discussion after our meeting today, so I'll ask them what kind of feedback they're getting and whether or not they feel that the measures that our cabinet committee have taken should have a bit of a pause on it. I'm inclined to think that because tariffs are still coming on steel, on aluminum, again, we've been told that they'll be coming on April the 2nd. I'm inclined to think that they will still stand, but I do want to get some feedback on that. My understanding, and again, we're getting advice and it's changing almost hourly, but the most recent advice that I've been given is when the U.S. administration says that 62% of Canadian goods have not been compliant with the USMCA. It seems to me that's a paperwork issue. There are a lot of companies that really had no incentive to fill out the paperwork to get tariff-free access because we had tariff-free access. Now that there is a difference between energy that does not qualify for the exemption and energy that does, I suspect everybody's calling their lawyers. We'll get very quickly into compliance, and the vast majority of our product is going to go into the United States tariff-free. Remember, what the Americans are worried about is Canada being a dumping ground for other outside of the agreement nations to be able to use our tariff-free status to get access to the U.S. market. I can verify the oil and gas going through our pipelines is Alberta oil and gas. So I think if we can just get that paperwork sorted, we'll be all right. Same with our food products. There may be a little more work that we have to do with agriculture to verify that all of those products are Canadian and Alberta origin. But there's some wonderful apps that have started. I think I know of at least 4 of them that are able to verify that. Timber remains a problem, and as you mentioned, there's still a couple of other areas. But what I would like to see is we're going to get a new Prime Minister in a couple of days. So hopefully that will cause one recalibration. But more importantly, we need to go into an election so that we have the new Prime Minister, whoever that may be, with a 4-year mandate so that we can accelerate the renegotiation of the Canada-U.S. Free Trade Agreement.
Thank you for that. And then my follow-up just on an unrelated question, just hoping to get your comment on the Globe and Mail's reporting this morning, a $1.4 million of acetaminophen and ibuprofen manufactured by Turkey's Atabey Pharmaceuticals, according to government documents, being destined for Ukraine to the tune of $275,000. Can you confirm that is the government's plan? And how do you justify spending another $275,000 on this?
Well, Ukraine's in the middle of a war, as you probably know. They have children who have fevers and don't have medications, and we have agreements with Ukraine to help them. And so, as you know, if a child has a severe fever that's not addressed, they can have seizures and they can have brain damage. And so when a group approached us to help provide this medication to the war-torn areas of the world, we said we'd work with them. So we're working with them and Health Canada, and we'll have more to say if we come to an agreement.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. We're going to take that from the phones. Operator, could you put through the first caller, please?
I see that we have Morgan Black from Global News. Your line is open.
Hi, thanks for taking my questions. Premier, it's Trudeau's final days as PM. How do you think his legacy will be remembered here in Alberta?
I always like to start with the positive. And despite the disputes that we have had, a multitude of them, and $176 billion worth of canceled energy projects, he still did manage to oversee a government that got the Coastal GasLink built as well as the Trans Mountain Pipeline built. And those have been absolutely game-changing, I think, for the country, because by having additional new markets, it's closed the gap that we've been having by having a flooded North American market. I think we'll see an extraordinary difference that will happen when LNG Canada starts operating. And I think it's actually recalibrated the entire country to understand just how important it is for us to be able to have new markets, which has changed the conversation. with British Columbia, with our friends in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and even on the East Coast, you've seen that and Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is actively talking about restarting Energy East pipeline, and as well as our friends in northern Canada. So, if in the end this is the catalyst to be able to build new pipelines east, west, and north, and I think that that's very positive. But on balance, we've had a lot of fights, and we still have them. We don't agree with net zero regulations on our power grid. That's not their jurisdiction. We don't agree with emissions cap on our energy. That's, again, I think outside their jurisdiction. They still have mandates for net zero cars, net zero buildings, which I think are punishing to consumers. They still have a carbon tax, which is about to go up in a few days' time, which has created an affordability and inflation crisis, and I think led to a lot of the reason why he's leaving office. So I would say it's a bit of a mixed bag. We've had some good projects we've been able to work on together, such as Dow Chemicals' net zero petrochemical plant and Lindy's and Air Products net zero hydrogen facilities. There may be another announcement coming on another joint project today, I've been told, so look for that one. So we have always found that if we can find areas of common ground, it's far better, but we continue to stand in defending Alberta jurisdiction.
And your follow-up, Morgan?
And then my follow-up is, thank you, Sam. My follow-up is Premier Sohi, and I think also maybe Tim. Just wanted to know more about the event center, and I'm wondering if there might be a worry that the new private facility will now be competing with provincial or municipal facilities like the convention center or the Jubilee.
Yeah, so this is a very initial stage of the conversations on the memorandum of understanding. There will be more robust engagement with various stakeholders, including the various partners that we work with at the City of Edmonton, including the community, and all those things will be sorted out. What I know that there is still a gap in our community, particularly in the mid-size venue in Edmonton that could potentially be part of the event park. But I also understand that having access for community to community ice and other amenities that Edmonton downtown communities need will be part of the conversation too. So there's a lot of things to be sorted out as part of the ongoing conversation, but that's something that I am committed to ensuring that we have that the public interest is always paramount in these conversations, that we're building a facility that will be that'll meet the needs of everyone, including our public.
Thank you. And that'll wrap up our press conference for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'll just remind our speakers and the media to stay on the stage here. We're just going to take a quick photo when we get the podium out of the way. Thanks.